Hi Thibault. Well,
Hey,
before we talk about business, let's go back to present. You are here at 22 Music On. You are on the share. Someone will take care of you really
got a
soon.
coffee.
Exactly. So, first question that will be quite important. How often do you get to slow down like this?
Yeah, I would say not as often as I'd wish. Maybe like once a week, twice a week. Typically I'd go to like get a foot massage or go to the sauna or go like relax. Those would be the type of place I can relax, but not often. Definitely not enough.
Okay, well, Bangkok, we'll come back to it, but it's still a good place to slow down sometime.
Definitely.
So, well, you've built companies, you've played for the rugby national team, you lived across continents. So, my first question is, how do you describe yourself when you're not talking about business?
I would like to say maybe like a chill guy, someone that likes to laugh, enjoy the simple things, good time with friends, good food, relaxing and playing sports. Yeah, that'll probably be the way I describe myself. But especially having a laugh, having a good laugh.
I know personally Thibault, and I can confirm that 100%. Well, let's rewind. You grew up in Toulon. For those who don't know, it's in the southeast of France, near Marseille, which is a little bit more famous. And with you had a past that were like almost already decided for you. We'll come back to it, but you were about to join the French Navy. And so, what did that life look back then? Like, just tell us a little bit more about that.
I mean, life in south of France is really nice. You
Yeah,
have an amazing weather, you have crazy good landscapes,
definitely.
nature all over the place. So that's really, really good. Life looked very simple, very heavy in terms of family, like a lot of family times and everything. My whole family is in Toulon in south of France.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost joined the Navy, yeah. And so life back then was very different to what it is nowadays in Bangkok, Thailand.
Well, I guess you didn't pick up a military haircut today. We'll see soon the final style, but okay, well, and this life is completely different compared to the one you have today. So, is it a decision that you've made like overnight, or was it a long process? We just want to know a little bit more about how you moved from joining almost the French Navy to being right now in Bangkok, and we will go back to like what you're doing exactly today and what you've done.
Well, I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like any subtle or any like specific decision.
Okay.
It's just a series of events from one another. I think the main first event was me failing the Navy application test.
Makes sense.
I mean, for context, I was trying to do the special commando, which is called plongeur des mineurs, which is the underwater demining squad, pretty much.
Okay.
And this one of the toughest Navy kind of squadrons or whatever you call it to enter.
Okay.
And I failed that test. So I was like, oh, I thought I was gonna actually pass, but yeah. On the running side of things, I did really bad. But in the water part of the test, that was really good. Anyway, so when I failed that, I was like, oh, damn, what do I do now?
No.
And because it was already in October, the academic year already passed, so I couldn't go back to study something because the year had already started and I would have to wait until September of the following year. So my mom just said, oh, how about you just go live in London for a year and learn to speak English? Because in today's world, speaking English is very important. And you don't speak it because you're French and you learn you learn English in school, so it's pretty average. So I did that. I left to London with I think 1,000 euros in my pocket, and I worked in a couple of different jobs, and I ended up spending an entire year there, and that's kind of one thing that led to another that led to Bangkok. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand that failing the test play a big role in that shift.
Yeah.
But was there a person, a book, a place, or something that really influenced that shift in a certain way?
I mean, I would say my mom. I mean, I would say that everything, the person I am today in my life is 90% thanks to my mom and the way she raised me and my brother and the values she gave us and how she always kind of taught us that we could do whatever we set our mind to and whatever we wanted to achieve. And she kind of always pushed me to do something outside of my comfort zone and a bit less conventional or traditional as opposed to every other kid in my hometown in south of France. So definitely should be the main reason. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's a good inspiration, definitely. And among other things that you've done, I noticed one thing that you've launched. It was insect-based food. Back at that time, I don't know the exact year, but it was still like pioneer thing to go into that business.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about this, and also what made you believe into this industry at that specific moment? You were already in Thailand at that moment, I know, but I think it was one of the first businesses that you launched here in Bangkok, Thailand. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I mean, I got the inspiration. It's gonna sound very cliche, but I got the inspiration when seeing all these vendors that sell insects in Thailand, because it's quite common.
Yeah.
Not so much in Bangkok, but at least in the countryside of Thailand for people to eat insects.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, interesting. So I kind of started looking into it. But to give you a bit of context first, is I grew up in a family, and especially again, my mom, who is very sustainable. We grew up eating a lot of vegetables. We would recycle from very early on. We would only buy from local producers, like stuff like this. So those are some of the values that I kind of always had an interest in. So when back to Bangkok, when I realized, that Thai people were eating insects and crickets, more specifically, were a thing in Thailand, I started looking into it. And I realized that there's a bunch of startups, especially in the US, which are much more advanced than us when it comes to nutrition and sustainability, that existed around that. So that's how I got started with Everfood, yeah.
So, okay, great. So just to go back and to give a little bit of context. So you were in London at that time, and from London, did you move to Thailand directly?
No, so after living in London for a year, I now kind of knew how to speak English much better than before I left. So that was pretty good success.
Okay.
But I only had an A level. I only had like the equivalent of the baccalaureate, as they say in France, right? So I was like, oh man, now I probably need to study something.
Yeah.
So my whole family, my cousins and all, they were all influencing me and saying, hey, you should probably study like business and like sales stuff, because you're good at like talking to people and all that.
Definitely.
So I went to school for that. I did what they call alternance in France. So it's like half work, half school, because I don't think I would have had the patience to sit on a chair 5 days a week for 3 years in a row, and let alone 5, which is
You
what I
have to
ended
do
up
it
doing.
for 1 hour today. So
Exactly. 1 hour today is fine. I became a much more patient person as I grew older. But yeah, so I came back to France and I studied for 4 years. I mean, for 5 years, one of which being an exchange year in Thailand, which was the last year of my master degree. That's how I came to Thailand back in 2018.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, definitely. Going to Asia to study, I guess it was not super common at that time, even though now it's like more and more common. But it was a big move, I guess. Also for you, like that have grown up with your family in the southeast of France. You had your family all the time with you. Moving here, how does it feel? What was your first impression when you moved from that cab that brought you from Suvarnabhumi airport to your Airbnb hotel, whatever at that time?
It's so funny you talk about this cab ride, because I was telling my wife a couple of weeks ago again about, I always go back to this one cab ride, because my best friend, who was from Toulon and was in Bangkok back at that time, picked me up from the airport, and we drove all the way to a condo in Tonglo. And I remember seeing the cables everywhere, and I was like, what the hell is this like stuff all over the place? These cables all over the place. And that was kind of like a shock, but then he was there, so it's fine. But then he left 3 weeks after, because he had to go back to France to study his final year in France. So I was kind of alone in Bangkok. And I think that morning when I woke up alone on the balcony of the condo in Tonglo, I was like, what the hell am I doing here? I was like, is this really for me? And yeah. And then one thing led to another, and now it's really for me.
And now do you see yourself living somewhere else?
Nah,
nowhere.
No chance.
Well, let's go back to what you're doing right now. So now with Richly, you're building a B2B lead generation company. So it's not the sexiest topic for many, but it's super powerful. And obviously without any leads, you don't get any business.
Exactly.
So what's the biggest misconception people have about this, about lead generation in general, or any other related topic to that specific industry?
I mean, there's multiple parts to your question. I think the first thing is, it's definitely a very, very strong, not concept, but thing any business needs to do, because without lead, you don't have a business.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially in the B2B side of things, it's great if you build a business and you have a network and you have people that you can work with and all that, and it will work, but to an extent. And at some point, you're going to reach a point where you're going to plateau and kind of reach a ceiling, because all your network's already been used and you're already working with them or not working with them. And if you want to grow further, then how do you do that? And that's where lead generation and having lead generation systems in place is very important. I think the biggest misconception when it comes to lead gen is people think that they should just blast millions of people at once. Yes, volume is very important, but I think the most important is the relevancy of the outreach and what you're telling people when you're reaching out to them, speaking to their pain point and trying to speak to prospects at the right time, which is pretty much called signals or using triggers, which you can only do when using certain tech stack. So,
And
yeah.
well, okay, because again, I think most of the people, they are not super familiar with what lead generation can be, and especially for B2B. Let's say I'm a student, I'm in the room. You have 45 seconds to explain me what lead generation means and how to do it properly when you're a company.
Well, I would just say what it means in one sentence is pretty much the activity of generating conversation which are going to lead into meetings.
Okay.
The way in which you generate those conversations depends on the channel you use. You could be using phone, you could be using email, you could be using LinkedIn. If you use ads, technically it's supposed to be called something a bit else. Lead generation is when you're actively, at least the way I'm referring to lead generation and the way we do lead generation at Richie is regarding cold outreach. Okay. So we're reaching out to people that didn't really solicitate us, but we're trying to do so with the right intent and the right messaging to trigger positive conversations.
Great. Well,
and then how to do it? I think I probably need another hour in order to answer that question, but in 30 seconds, very simple. First, you need to identify your ICP. Who is your ideal customer profiles? What type of demographics do they have? Technographics of the companies they're part of.
Yep.
What channels do they live on? Some people's ICP might live on like Shopee and Lazada. Some other might be Facebook groups and Line in Thailand. Some others might be LinkedIn if it's white collar industries. It really depends. So identify ICP, identify the channels, and then choose which channels and kind of ways you want to reach out to them, whether it's email, phone, or LinkedIn, and that can depend on the industry, or they can also depend on the country.
Yeah, definitely.
The country in which they're based.
Yeah, much. I guess like culture also, like whether you do it in the US or in Thailand. Exactly. It's gonna be like a completely different way of like approaching the customers, potential customers.
Yeah,
100%. Because this company you've built it, you have a team now that works with you. So I would like to know what part of this business you still love doing yourself, and what other parts you are learning to let go of a little bit. And I know because we talked already about this, it's something that is quite hard to do when you have your own business. You've built it from zero. To just let your team do it for you.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what you're willing to let go of today that maybe you were not before, and how you see that in the future?
I think I haven't really. Maybe the only thing I've changed over the last year and a half is my approach to management, and I try to not micromanage people too much.
Yeah.
I want to let people have use their creativity and their skills and their knowledge to do things in the way they think is best.
Yep.
But that's easier to do when you recruit very good people, and very good people are very hard to come by. But there are a lot of very good people in Thailand, and luckily my teams are great. So I'm very happy about that. When it comes to the things I want to delegate, I mean, it's very simple. I'm actually, let me just rephrase that. The one thing I still love doing today, and it's not just love, but it's, in my opinion, the most important thing any founder should be focused on is moving the dial.
Okay.
So it's focusing on activities that generate revenue. Okay. Talking to clients, going to networking events, doing YouTube content, things that are going to generate eyeballs and conversations, which are going to potentially and hopefully generate more meetings for you and your business, which should be more deals down the line. So that's really what I'm focusing on, activities that generate revenue. And then in terms of delegation, mostly around execution, so letting the team handle the execution side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I guess when you talk about B2B lead generation, it can be anything, any kind of industry, any kind of people you're gonna end up talking to. Do you have any short story or funny story of people approaching you for a little bit weird business, or having some strange questions about like your services? Like, do you have anything that comes to your mind?
I mean, to your question, yes. Lead generation can really be anything as long as it's B2B. We have clients that are in the consulting industry. We have clients that are in like the solar panel industry, logistics, SaaS, cybersecurity, marketing agency, it really doesn't really matter much as long as their clients are on LinkedIn and or have an online presence. We can then find them.
Yeah, because sorry to interrupt you, just to clarify that. So lead generation, can you just list like the main channel you're gonna use to reach all those potential customers?
What do you mean?
I mean, whether it's through LinkedIn, like all the automation parts, because obviously you're not calling people, as far as I know.
We do sometime, but very rarely. Yeah.
Okay, but the whole point is about automation, right? So
Yes.
you're gonna automate the whole thing through different channels that will target either emailing, LinkedIn, right? So I don't know if there are others than that, but just for people to understand.
Yeah, mostly LinkedIn and email. Those are the main two. Yeah.
Okay, great. So also like the importance of the personal brandings like is quite important when you are reaching people through LinkedIn. I know you also, that's how you kind of started also this business. You help people to build their personal branding on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So can you tell us like shortly what's for you the personal branding today and how important it is for you, whether it's on LinkedIn or on other platforms?
Well, I always tell my clients this, or the people I have calls with, I say, if you were to receive an email from Elon Musk or from someone you don't know, you're probably more likely to reply to Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess
the logic behind that is marketing and branding. If people know you already, there's higher chance of them replying.
100%.
So that's why I think that having a personal brand in today's B2B very competitive world is very important, and the best place in order to have that brand is on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you could also have like a good presence with your actual brand online and run marketing campaign and social media campaign, which shows that when someone receives an email from you, they're like, oh, I've actually seen his ad, and there's more chances of someone replying again because they've either seen your brand on LinkedIn or on some ads. So definitely extremely important to have a personal brand.
For sure. And like, let's say there would be one thing that for you, I mean, let's say one, not like three things. Building my LinkedIn profile, I start from zero and I have 3 actions that I'm gonna like take. What would it be the most important 3? I know there are many, I know you can optimize your profile in many ways, but what would be the 3 that you would say those are the must?
I would say number 1 is having an optimized profile. By that, I mean like a nice headshot and a clear banner, very clear headline on what you do and all that stuff. You don't need to go too deep and too complex on it. If you just Google that, you'll find many guides and blog posts about how to do that. That's the first thing. The second thing is you need to every single day max out your LinkedIn connection requests.
Okay.
You need to be connecting with anyone that could be a potential ICP. Don't connect with random people.
Okay.
But if you're serving, I don't know, like head of marketing into cybersecurity companies, well, identify them, create lists using Google and LinkedIn Sales Navigator and other tools.
Yeah.
And every day connect with those people.
Yeah.
To extend your network. And then I think the third thing is once you reach a certain stage of connection and growth of profile, then I would start posting content on LinkedIn.
What would be like for you, like, because we're talking about people following you or like connections?
I would say like 1,000 connections.
1,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can start getting some decent traction. Maybe even 500 will be good enough.
Okay.
But yeah.
So that would be like, at least for you, like the must.
Yeah, it would be like where you can start posting content and get some decent traction from it.
Okay. And so now you know that AI, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's gonna be more and more present in any industry, and obviously in content creation, that's something that we already all use.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, what do you recommend? Because sometimes I see like posts on LinkedIn, and now you cannot really know whether it has been AI generated or if it has been written by people.
Yeah.
So, do you see any pros and cons of using? And I know it's not just about using; it's how you use it as well.
Yeah.
But what's your opinion on that, on the content generated by AI or not, or 50-50?
Well, I think you answered your own question. Is the output is only as good as the input you give it.
Yeah.
Right. So if you just ask AI, write me a LinkedIn post, it's gonna be horrible. If you ask AI, write me a LinkedIn post, this is what I want, this is what I'm about, or you use, like for example, Claude has a function called projects where you can give it knowledge base. And so you can give it a knowledge about you, your content style, previous content you've done, your company, pretty much everything and anything you can think of. And then the content you're going to get from that is going to be really qualitative.
Sure. I'm gonna like make confidence here. I already copy pasted one of your posts. It
Oh, there
happened
you go.
several times, and
Right.
I asked just ChatGPT make this like as this post and use the same format, and I did it. So
Nice. Very happy
and
to
it
hear.
worked.
So-
It worked well for several posts. So I recommend like any of you guys that are like watching this video right now, listening to the podcast, to go to Thibault's profile.
There's going to be a QR code that appears right here.
but yeah, because I like the way you do it. It's light and it's quite straightforward, but at the same time it's catchy.
Yeah.
And yeah, because it's always hard to find the balance between giving
sure.
too much, I mean, information, and not to give enough added value to the person who's going to read your post.
Yeah.
And I mean, I found that you've have this balance in your post, and that's I mean that's why also you're quite successful on this channel. So yeah, definitely. So quite clear on that. So thanks for the tips on that. Definitely. Now we're gonna switch to a completely different topic, but obviously it's all related because I'm sure it had
Everything is related.
Yeah, it's quite a big impact, whether it's on your personal life or professional life, because I know you personally. So you play rugby, you've been playing for many years, and I play also myself, so I can say rugby is not just a sport.
No.
It's impact, it's discipline, it's a collective work. So I just want to know basically how, and we'll come back to it because you play also for the Thai national team, so which is quite a good level. So first of all, how this sport impacted your life today, whether again it's on the personal, professional point of view. Just tell us a quick part about that.
Yeah, I think it's going to sound very cliche, but I really mean it. Is
Okay.
when I grew up, I was a very solo type of person, and I'm very, very competitive. I only used to play solo sports. So I was doing tennis, was the main sport I was playing.
Yeah.
My little brother and I play a lot of tennis.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't really like team sports is because I was like, oh yeah, I don't like to lose because of somebody else. And that's not me, right? And so, yeah, again, I said it's gonna sound cliche. And I think just playing rugby made me realize that actually to go far and to achieve greatness, you need more than just one. You know, you need, and that goes along for life. That goes for life in anything, you know, that's business, friendships, everything, right? So I think when rugby really taught me that by being more and acting as a team, you can go much further than you would if you were to be and act on your own.
No, 100%. Definitely. I mean, I also played for a while. I know how this sport is just more than a sport. Your teammates become friends.
Yeah.
And it's a real support, whether it's on the field or outside of the field. So definitely. And I have a specific question because, again, you've played for the Thai national team. And I just want to ask you if and how, if it did, it changed your sense of identity as a French-born expat to play for the national team, because okay, it's not, you didn't play for England or New Zealand, but you represent the team, you represent the Thai flag. So I just want to know, like, if that had an impact, and if what was the impact, if you feel like you belong more to Thailand after playing for them. Just tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely made me feel a bit more like, not Thai, but like showing that I really care and love this country. So I was like, you know, why not? I'm more than happy to represent Thailand. And it's kind of like an honor that to be chosen to play for Thailand, actually. It also impacted my gameplay because there we were in camp for like 2-3 months and we had intensive training. And I didn't grow up playing rugby, so I kind of started with a bit of a depth in terms of skills and a lot of other things. So it really made me a better player. So that's the second thing. And I think the third thing is regarding the player that I played with. Before joining national team, I had a bit of a French mindset when it comes to rugby and playing rugby against Thai people. I was very aggressive, sometimes wanted to fight people on the field and stuff like that. And then after that, it just made me see them in a very different light, and I became friends with a lot of them. And so, yeah, that definitely changed my perspective. And I think it also changed their perspective of me. Because after that, it really changed the way, you know, when you meet on the pitch and you play against them, you're playing against friends.
Okay, I see. I mean, I didn't have the chance to play for the Thai
Not yet.
national team, but I'm sure it like brings a lot. It's an amazing experience, and there.
Yeah.
So 100%. And do you have in mind? Do you remember a specific moment on the pitch that felt like a lesson for you, whether it's for your life or on the business side? Specific game, specific moments.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a game we played together, actually. It's
Oh, really?
the final of Chiang Mai 10, I think 2 years ago against the
Right.
Hanoi Dragons.
Correct.
We beat everyone in that tournament. We won every game we played, actually, except from the first game, which we lost against them, funnily enough. And then we get to the final, pretty confident. And I'm like, okay, we're going to go and win it out. And then at the end of first half, the score was 7-0 for them. And the coach lost his shit in traditional fashion. And I was like, oh, you know, like the spirits were a bit down. And then we all had a team talk and everything. And we ended up winning the final, I think 31-7 or
it was
something like this. And so I think the lesson in that, because if you had asked me at the end, when the whistle blew at the end of the first half, if we were going to win, maybe deep down I was like, oh, maybe we actually lose this, right? But then we actually won it like by a lot. And the lesson is it's never over until it's over, right? So it's like, you might think that it's over, but it's actually not over. And if you give it your all, you still have a chance to actually win it. So that's probably one of the best memory in terms of the games in the last couple of years.
Well, I cannot add anything else. It was an amazing game, and I 100% agree that until the last second, you have to fight, whether it's in life or on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I think rugby is still, it's one of the sports where you have to fight physically, and you have until the last second to win that game. And that was definitely the case during this moment, 100%.
Yeah.
And one question, because I think with I consider you as an athlete, generally speaking, because I think compared to the average man today, the way you care about how you train, the way you care about how you eat, I think it's like way above the average man today. So I consider you, for me, like as an athlete, and I want to know how it's shaped your way of life today. Because you have a busy life professionally, personally as well, and you live in a crazy city that is always moving. So I just want to know, like, with this athlete mindset, how it impacts basically your life today, your daily life.
Well, I really think that if you have a healthy and a fit body, you have a healthy and a fit mind. It's been proven scientifically that working out has a lot of benefits on your brain and all your cognitive things and all that stuff. So I really can't, and the funny thing is, I grew up never doing any sports until I was 21. I never had done any sports and I hated sports.
God-given genetic.
And then I had kind of like, yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? And then I had this kind of like switch moment and I became addicted to it when I started. But yeah, I can't live without it now, so.
Yeah, well, same for me. And you know how important sport is. I can just agree about that, whether you do rugby or anything else. But I think that's a must, and our generation, I think, start to really put this wellness at the center of their life, and I think that's so important. And talking about that, well, let's be real. Looks matter. The way you look, and I would say even more in Asia. I don't know if you agree with that, but more than in Europe.
More than in Europe, but probably not as much as in the US, but yeah.
So I just want to know, like, how much do you think the way you look has impacted your professional and personal journey, whether it's in Europe or in Thailand? How do you see that? Like,
well, I think it's very important to dress well and to be, you know, to try and have good looks and be fit and all that stuff. Not only for your mental health, but also for, like you said, and like you only have one chance to make a good first impression.
100%.
So if you come in, you know, not looking so good, then you probably wasted that chance already. So I think to me, it's very important. And I always want to give myself the best possible chances at succeeding in whatever I achieve, whatever I'm setting my mind to achieve. So I really think it's very important.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it might sound like I love your looks.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, it's better. I feel better. So yeah, again, I don't want to feel like I'm in love with the way you look, even
It's
though
okay.
even though it's true,
You can
even
be
though
in
it's
love
true,
with the way I look. It's fine.
even though I'm trying hard to hide it. But do you think you would have had the same opportunities, especially I would say when you moved to Asia, if you didn't look the way you look? Honestly,
I think yes. Honestly, I think yes.
you think you would have had the
because I
same
think
opportunities,
I
the
think.
same doors would have been open to you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I would have done a couple things differently, for sure.
Which one, for example?
Like, I mean, when I came here my first year, I liked to be like an extra on like some TVC sets for like a couple
He
thousand baht.
he was a big star at
Yeah, sure.
that time. Yeah.
And making a couple extra thousand baht to help to pay for my rent and stuff like that probably would have been less possible if I didn't have the look that I had. But I still think that mindset and the way in which you convey yourself, you communicate, and you go after people with your grit and all that, probably has, I mean, not probably, for sure has more importance than just your looks.
But I think the way you look is, and the way you feel about the way you look,
yeah, of course,
has a real impact on
confidence,
confidence, right?
But you could also have confidence even though you
Correct.
some other
But
people
it
you
might be
don't
harder.
feel.
It might be harder.
Yeah, it might be harder.
But
I don't think it has that much of a weight.
okay. But was there a time, for example, in your life where you didn't feel good about the way you look?
Yeah, for sure. When I was 20-year-old, before starting working out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So that was a completely different Thibault that
exactly.
we have today.
Yes.
Okay, not only physically but mentally.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and okay, so and that, how do you see like this transition? Like, what made you like switch from like you didn't feel, I mean, you were not feeling good about yourself, the way you look, to today where you have your routine, you care about the way you look, the way people like look at you as well? Explain us this switch.
Well, I would say
Was there a girl? Was there many girls?
no, we talked about confidence, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I back then I was like a bit like tired of not being so confident in myself. And then again, it's gonna sound very cliche, but I was watching a movie and I was like, oh man, this guy looks so cool, and he feels like he's got so much confidence and stuff. And in the movie, he was doing a lot. He had like a workout transformation, and I was like, maybe I need to work out. And I'll never forget that time. It's like midnight or like 1 a.m. when I finished the movie, and I started doing like crunch and push-ups in my bedroom at 20-year-old.
Since then, you never
And then
stopped.
from like the next day, I was like, okay, I was like, Mom, now I'm gonna eat like vegetable only and this and that, and then that's it. And then from there, I just kind of switched. It's so stupid, but that's just what happened.
It's not. I think no, it's not definitely. I think, again, our generation, like the whole thing about training and stuff, it really like starts with, I mean, it started with the influencers also on YouTube,
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
And I think this, now we all think that it's normal, it always existed, but, and we are not old, you're older than me, but back maybe 15 years ago.
I'm also wiser than you.
Yeah, but this, I think everyone like noticed it already. So, but 100%, I mean, we don't have to take it for granted, like it always existed before. Nobody had any clue about how to train, like what was good to do or not. So it makes sense also that at that age we didn't have.
Yeah, true, because it wasn't so famous to be like fit, and the wellness industry didn't exist the way it does today and all that. So that's true. Yeah, I had one friend in high school that was big into he was doing like how do you call it, body weight workouts. Yeah. And he was huge into this, and he kept telling me, oh, you gotta try this and do dips on the chair and do push up that, and then you'll see. And then after that kind of night revelation, I was like, then okay, let's try it. And then I did that, and then that's kind of how I started. And then I went into a gym as well after that.
Okay, well, I want to ask you right now, because with work, sports, your personal life, now you're married, you have a wife, I will let you admire the work done.
Excellent work, but it's expected. We are 22 Bangkok, you know what I mean?
Thanks for that. We will definitely let you show this around to all your followers. I expect you to post on LinkedIn about
I'll
this.
probably do a LinkedIn post about my recent haircut.
So one question, if you could speak today, and you just mentioned about him, to your 20 years old version, basically, what would you tell this person, like today? What could you tell if you had like 1 minute talk with your 22 years old version?
I would just say that everything's gonna be okay at the end of the road, so not to worry too much. And I would probably say to dare more and to be a bit riskier with the things I I start and I like get myself into. Because when you're young, you're 20 and everything, you haven't really got much to lose anyway. So even if you lose, whether it's money, investment, time, whatever it is, you're gonna have so much time to rebuild that later on. So be a bit more daring and a bit more, have a bit of a bigger risk appetite, because again, you haven't got much to lose, which is a whole different story when you're, you know, like 35 or 40 and you have kids and houses and all that stuff. But I would still say everything's gonna be okay. Just keep believing in yourself, which I did, and this is how I ended up here. So I wouldn't do anything different to the way I did it anyway.
Okay. One question, and I will wait that your hair dries to make sure the microphone is not completely overwhelmed by this nice Dyson hair dryer. One question: what success? And that will be the last one because you just finished the haircut. Perfect timing, as you can see.
Really good timing. Again, it's 22 Bangkok. What do you expect?
What a nice guy. So last question: what success does mean to you today? Like, explain us.
I would just say one word: freedom.
Okay.
Just being free, doing things that I like to do and that I enjoy doing. And maybe on the back of that, time. Having time for myself to do, again, the things I love with my friends, with my wife, with my family, and not having, you know, something that worries me too much in the back. And that's what I'm trying to build with my business.
Amazing. Well, first, to end up this interview, I want to thank you because you will be the first person that we will interview at 22 Cut. Again, this
the beginning of many podcasts.
Many more guests will come, and that's really feel special for me to have you here. We met in Bangkok, Thailand. It's special for me to have you here again. So thank you for taking the time. We will have a lot more people coming in the next weeks, entrepreneurs, athletes that will share their experience. Also, the way they see men health, the way they see the importance of looking good, taking care of themselves. And yeah, maybe we will see you in another episode on another topic, maybe with some kids around.
Who knows?
Who knows? So thank you, Thibault. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, my bro.
Thanks, bro. Merci. Merci à toi.